afternoon to everyone. I'm real pleased to welcome you to our panel organized by Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange. I know it's lunchtime, but all people are welcome to to accompany us with our panel with the title "Amid a Revolutionary Transformation: Science as a Growth Infrastructure." We are all set to live in a completely new reality. Firstly, in geopolitics. Yesterday, the head of representation of Canada said that the old order is collapsing. But secondly, we are living in a completely different reality, taking into account transformation in economy and technology. And today we are going to discuss if we have chances in this new reality, what we have to do to find ourselves in a good shape in this new world. My name is Łukasz Gołota. I'm Deputy Director of National Agency for Academic Exchange, and I'm researcher at the University of Warsaw. And once again, welcome to the panel. As we know, good panels can change the world, and to have good panels, we need good panelists. So let me introduce our participants. I will start with Dr. Wojciech Karczewski, Director of National Agency for Academic Exchange. So he's a person responsible for internationalization of science and higher education in Poland.
Good afternoon.
Secondly, let's go. Our next panelist is Magdalena Kołodziejska. She's Deputy Director of National Center for Research and Development. So this is the person who oversees investments in innovations, in science, and is taking care of commercialization of these results. So welcome, Magdalena.
Welcome, everyone. Yeah, that's nice introduction.
Now our next panelist is Professor Marek Kowalkiewicz. He's a Polish-Australian professor and chair in digital economy at the Queensland University of Technology. And he's a person who is researching on artificial intelligence, and he's going to answer our all questions and talk about our old apps, how we will live, we will find ourselves in the new world.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. The next panelist is Beata Jaczewska, Director of the Department of Economic Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Poland. So his role in the ministry is to shaping economic relations between Poland and the rest of the world and international neighborhood, bilateral and multilateral dimension. Welcome, Director.
Good afternoon.
And we have Professor Arkadiusz Kowalski from Warsaw School of Economics, head of the Department of Asian Economic Studies and Deputy Director of the Institute of the World Economy. Welcome, Professor.
Good afternoon.
So, as you can see, the main idea of this panel was to merge two worlds: world of technical governmental agencies and ministry, and representation of science. So I hope that the results of the discussion will be very fruitful. And I would like to start with the question to the Director Karczewski. I hope you don't mind, I will call you Wojtek because daily we know each other, so I hope it will sound more natural. Wojtek, because your organization actually prepares strategy for internationalization of science and education for Poland, and what in these times, in this dynamics, what's going on in technology and science, why internationalization of science, mobility is important, what can it give to the economy and society?
Yeah, so internationalization of Polish science and higher education means opening research and universities to the world. And not because it sounds nice, but because without this openness, research cannot be strong enough to support economy. In most developed countries, higher education and science are not isolated sectors. They are the real engines of growth. They create new jobs positions. They create new technologies. They create new companies and long-term competitiveness. So it wouldn't be possible without international cooperation. And internationalization is not a one-time project. This is the ongoing process, and this process must be done wisely. It must respond to the needs of economy, of the labor market, of the society, and in line with national policies like the economic priorities or the migration rules or even the security concerns. So if the science is to be the real growth infrastructure, it must respond in a very concrete way to the economy. And one of the most important mechanisms is the talent mobility. And when talented people talented people like researchers come from different countries, they don't only fill the positions at the universities. They bring new ideas, they bring new ways of working, they bring global networking. And this is the intellectual capital. And the intellectual capital is, I think, one of the most important resources every economy can have. And the same applies to the students. If there is the steady inflow of talented students, it raises the level of the whole education. So this is the profit for everyone. It creates a more ambitious environment or better graduates. And researchers' mobility is in practice the knowledge movement. Because people carry in their heads know-how, how to do high quality research, how to do projects, how to work with industry, or and other this type of things. So. That's why I often say that talent mobility is productivity mobility. So where talent flows, the productivity and innovation follow. And other things why internationalization is important and can support economy. Internationalization of science is crucial for investment and for innovation. For example, the international companies are more willing to invest in the countries where there are strong universities, where are more skilled graduates, or there are international research teams, and then there are more cooperation between business and science. Even more technologies reach the market. Other thing, thanks to internationalization, the science is the early warning system to the economy, because thanks to global networks, the countries have an access to the newest trends or the newest technologies like cybersecurity or AI and etc. So they can react earlier and not falling behind. And maybe last thing, because I can talk and talk.
Know something about the agency?
There is the strategic dimension. If there is this internationalization of science and higher education, the economies of the countries are more resilient because and they cope better with crises, and doesn't matter which, because they have access to the newest knowledge, to the know-how and the best solutions on the market. So in short, two things. Internationalization of science and higher education drive growth, resilience and innovation. And where there is the talent mobility, the innovation and productivity follows.
So all we need to do just to attract the talent from all around the world to Poland. That was agency responsible for mobility in Poland. Now let's move to the agency which is responsible for innovations. We have researchers, we have professors, because general people of science, when they are coming to government, they usually say, we need more money. Give us, you need results, you want results, invest in the science. And my question to director is it true that we have enough investments in innovations, in science? What your agency is doing to maximize effectiveness of these investments? What's the opinion of agency?
Thank you for this question. So, National Center for Research and Development is an agency under the Ministry of Science and Education, and also is an intermediate body for EU funds. And from my perspective, the crucial thing to accelerate innovation and to redesign our role in accelerating innovation is cooperation, business and science. So you said, Wojtek, that the talent mobility is crucial. In our agency, the most crucial is the cooperation. So what we are doing to boost this cooperation? So first of all, we announce calls, which is kind of consortia, included both scientific representative and the business, and majority of our calls are built from consortia. Second thing which we are providing to boost innovation, we organize network sessions, working info days before each calls to provide information how effectively get the grant from NCBR. Moreover, we also participate in Science for Business. We are a partner in this initiative. And also in our group, there is a company, Access NCBR, which is responsible for accelerating and commercialization of innovation. Also, we support international program. We've got bilateral, multilateral cooperation. So all those, I think, steps forward, providing us to accelerate innovation on the market.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now I would like to ask Professor Kowalkiewicz, because Professor, every day we can hear that the human's world is over. Now everything will be done by artificial intelligence. Everything will be prepared by ChatGPT. So the changes of our world is going to be our world is going to be over. Is that true? Is really AI can firstly it can be the engine of the growth in the way we can hear every day, and is it any danger for this level of civilization that we have achieved?
I don't think it's exactly true that everything is going to be done by AI now. However, I mean, of course, and look, there's so many places in Davos that talk about artificial intelligence. Last year, the year before, this year, of course, as well. This is a massive change in the economy. Many people call it the next industrial revolution, and I tend to agree with this. Are there any dangers? Of course there are dangers. Like with every previous industrial revolutions that we've had before, we are facing massive job displacement. We are hoping that new professions will continue to emerge. They have been emerging, and we hope that they will continue to emerge. But look, it's a massively changing world. There's absolutely no question about it. And so one of the roles of academics, of academia, of the industry, of all of those parties working together is, one, to try to understand how that world is changing and is going to change. Two, what the response should be. We're talking about risks, but we're also talking about opportunities of artificial intelligence. And so pretty much everyone right now who's here in Davos is trying to understand what those opportunities are, what those risks are, and how to capitalize on them. I'm based in Australia, and I get that privileged position of being able to observe large regions of the world from the outside. I'm very worried about Europe. Europe is way behind when it comes to large artificial intelligence investment and progress. Europe produces fantastic, one of the best, not the best in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality, one of the best AI researchers. However, Europe tends to export them outside of the continent, outside of the region. So this is something that Poland, Europe should be thinking very carefully about, how to manage the situation in which every single economy in this world, every single region in this world is trying to understand whether this is the chance for them to be a leading organization. I just came back from China recently. China is leading the world when it comes to generative AI research. You can see it everywhere. I went to their AI industrial park in Beijing. It's the size of a small city. There's a clear focus on government and all of the science organizations in China on that. We hear even from President Trump about all the investment in artificial intelligence technologies, that the conversation about Greenland is very much linked to access to resources that are crucial for AI development. Let's remember that artificial intelligence is a full stack, all the way from rare earth minerals to applications, and somewhere in between we have talent, data, hardware, infrastructure. Right? So Poland also needs to understand where in this stack Poland could be playing a major role, and honestly be bold enough to say, this is what we go for, this is what we invest in. Not be nice and try to make everyone happy, but say that's the focus.
Thank you very much. So, or we need to take part in this race, or Europe will be overskipped by the rest of the world.
There's no choice. The race is already happening. We are in this race.
We are and let's move to Professor Kowalski, because we talked about Europe. What about Poland? I remember times when average salary in Poland was $20. It was 1989. Today is $2,000, which is incredible, huge jump forward. The question is, what now? What do we need to, because many researchers is claiming that Poland is a good example of economic miracle. We achieved this average level, like middle income, some people call them trap. So what we need to do to run faster, to have more?
Well, actually, last year, World Bank announced the classification of countries, and they classified countries into four groups: high income, upper middle income, lower middle income, and low income countries. And where Poland is put in now in high income. We are in Group A. We are in the lower range of this Group A, but we are classified as high income country. And this also proves what you said. And in fact, what I presented here yesterday, our report on competitiveness of Poland and how Poland has been converging towards EU average, and we reduced the gap very well in last 3 decades. We still are below EU average, but we convert very quickly and we reduce this gap. So formally speaking, strictly speaking, we are not in the middle income trap because we are not middle income country anymore. But what, according to, for example, this World Bank data classification, but what, for example, OECD highlights is that we risk another thing, namely slowing down the convergence process. And what to do to avoid that? Because we still are below. Yeah, we are in this Group A, but in the lower range. And here we may think about improving our competitive potential. So investing in human capital, research, artificial intelligence, in developing infrastructure, in research base, in universities, what we've been doing. But this is not enough. Why? Because this increases this competitive potential. But then what really matters is productivity. So how we turn these inputs into outputs, which is about position in international trade, in global value chains, in income, so here gross domestic product. So what constitutes competitive position? And here the only thing now we need to highlight is institutions, institutions and institutional competitiveness. So improve the rules of law, the speed of courts, economic policy, reduce bureaucracy, simplify regulations. And I would put that as this key recipe for what we need to have in order to still converge. So to continue this process that has been taking in the last 3 decades, and which was quite extraordinary also even in our history. So probably never before we have converged to Western Europe as fast as we have done in the last decades. And what you said about these wages, it also proves that process. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. It's very positive information. And maybe now, Madam Director, because we are, for us, regular people, diplomacy is about hard power, it's about big politics. But I would like to ask if Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs use science, science diplomacy, innovation as a tool of diplomacy, is treated as a equal tool for more harder instruments?
I'll start with the statement. I do envy you, all of you, that you are in the discussion of the competitiveness on enhancing the opportunities for the science exchange, for the cooperation between the scientists. This sounds optimistic. In the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are a bit more pessimistic. As I think that the privilege of foreign affairs is to see further and to really analyze the risks of what may happen, but also of what might never happen. So that was the statement. The second, I would say the sentence I'm quite often starting my speeches now, is that we have to redefine what is the globalization now. Because, accept it or not, but the times are changing, and discussing the competitiveness purely, just or only, is not enough. It's not enough to talk about the GDP now. GDP grows together with democracy. And we do not have that comfort to separate those two topics anymore. So I would say that there may be a third element that I need to clarify is the so-called economic diplomacy, scientific diplomacy. Many people dealing with many things do add adjectives to the diplomacy that we do. And of course, it's possible, right? At the end, the diplomacy is about securing the country. By securing the country, we mean securing its physical existence. That's the priority number one, and it will never change, I promise. The second point, the second priority is securing our economic growth. It's securing our wealth and the comfort of the citizens who can then freely use their freedoms, right? Including the freedom of scientific research, the freedom of inventing new innovative products and enjoying the economic relations as they wish to do. So my job, I'm the head of the Economic Cooperation Department now at the MFA, and our job, this is how we are defining it, is to provide a shield to Polish citizens. And it really doesn't matter from my perspective whether these are the entrepreneurs, the scientists, academics, students, whoever. The Polish citizen has to be protected when he's abroad, and that's the role of the MFA. We are doing the most of what we can, or even more very often, to secure the future of our citizens. In this respect, it is absolutely crucial. The AI was mentioned. We are not technologists at the MFA. Our job is to think of the AI in a different way than the scientists and the entrepreneurs are thinking about it. Our job is to secure the future of development of the AI as such. Now we are, you must have heard it, we very often use this sentence that for us the AI now is a potential atomic bomb. So what we are trying to do now, using the multilateralism, using the discussions in the international organizations, is to provide the framework to allow for the further research and to allow for the further cooperation of whoever is interested, but in a framework of value that is value-based, that is not really potentially and in reality as well harming any of the wealth and prosperity and safety of the regular people. So the diplomacy is also diplomacy is not only about the promotion in the sense of selling the ideas. One more sentence. I'm super supportive of the ideas of future cooperation in between the scientists. But I believe you, Director, mentioned resilience. The resilience in a long-term perspective also means the resilience to the not fair competition, but also not fair treatments in a sense of let me phrase it this way. It's not obvious that all of our friends, international friends, are still friends. So again, MFA is to give you a shield. So I see my role here. So keep discussing on how you want to feel it in an ideal world. My job is to see what are the risks coming from the potential endeavors that you are developing.
Okay, thank you very much. In my opinion, the whole process started 20 years ago. 20 years ago, when social sciences stopped to be treated seriously. That was the moment they also don't know real science is about engineering, it's about biomedicine, physics, this is real science. Forget about social sciences. And we did forget about it. And today we have problems with democracy, with international order, with social relations. So I think that we have to find this balance again, not only about this real scientific researchers, but also researching on human relations, on societies, and about human nature. We were discussing about this race, that we are all taking part in this race. So we also said that all we need to do is this is exactly what big economies do, so they attract talents from all around the world. Director, do we have instruments? Do we have tools to compete with Germany, with much more bigger players in this game? What NAVA can do?
So, how do attract and keep global talents? The answer is very simple. We have to have the high quality, strong science in our country. We have to have the good reputation about our country and about our science around the world. We have to have good living conditions in our country, simple procedures, and a good visa system. And in Poland, we're developing all the time in these areas, and we are better and better every day.
If I may, Polish visa is now the 6th most wanted visa worldwide.
Worldwide?
Mhm.
Why is that? Why?
But for the Polish citizens, I understand. Yeah.
People who want to get Polish visa, this is the 6th most wanted visa worldwide. Because of the system is quite well organized. So
And Polish passport give access everywhere.
exactly.
So, you see, one thing very important thing, and we have this in our country. But for internationalization and for attracting talents, the context really matters. And Poland is now the 20th largest economy in the world. We are a large country in European Union, and we have the strong industrial base in our country. We have growing development of R&D. We have the full access to the European Union innovation and research ecosystem. So it's not a marginal position, it's a very strong starting point. And over the past years in NAVA, we have created the strategy for internationalization, and we say one thing every time. Science does not exist on its own. This is the part of a bigger picture. And if you want to think seriously about attracting and keeping global talents, we need to look at the whole country, its economy, its direction, or its ambitions. Researchers stay where they see that their work matters, and where science connects with big challenges, with industry, with innovations. And I think Polish growing economy is in advantage here. And cooperation with business, transfer of technology, startups is a normal part of our academic landscape. And NAVA makes stronger this connection, because Poland is not only the place to publish, but to create and implement new ideas. So the question is not if we can compete. The question is how to do it wisely. And For example, NAVA is doing this by the dedicated programs, and we have many successes in this area. For example, first thing, we're doing this, and we want to bring back Polish scientists who achieved great successes in other countries, and we have the program Polish Returns. And only during, yes, there is the candidate, and only during past few years, we to Poland came back more than 100 Polish scientists who achieved great successes in other countries, and they came back from the countries like United States of America, from UK, from Germany, and from the countries like Switzerland and Finland, and from the top universities, for example, from Harvard, from Oxford, and etc. We offer very good salaries during the first 4 years, the salaries for the scientists and for the team of this scientists. We provide money in cooperation with the National Center for Research and Development, good money for research. Okay, the second thing, we have the program Top 200, and this program is for the scientists from the best universities of the world. So this is Top 200, Top 200, the best universities of the world, and the conditions are similar. We provide very good salary for the scientists and for the team during the first 4 years, and money for research. Third thing, we have the program ULAM. This is the program for all talented scientists around the world, for scientists who can bring the added value to our higher education system. And during only last few years, there are a few hundreds of scientists in Poland thanks to this program. But strong institutions matter, and of course individual grants are important, but grants for institutions are important as well, because strong institutions attract strong people. And we have programs like strategic partnerships, very popular program in Poland. This is for the program which makes stronger the strategic cooperation between universities in our country with universities in the most developed countries. And the last program I mentioned, because I see the signs, Welcome to Poland. This is the program which focuses on strengthening the ability of Polish universities to work with foreigners. Only examples.
Thank you very much. We have in a history good examples of this economic miracles development, like American companies decided to enter into telecommunications. So we have Apple now. We have decisions of South Korea or Taiwan to enter into semiconductors business, and they are now crucial players worldwide. So the question is to Magdalena, what are key sectors for Poland? What we have, key technologies, key competences? Because I don't think we have potential to be perfect in everything, but maybe we can find some special areas, some special sectors where we can be the best and we can do our job. Magdalena.
Okay, so some part of it I have heard already. What is right now very important, not only innovation itself, but the resilience, especially not only Poland, but the whole Europe, resilience and independency of the other economies. And as Professor said, we are far away from the other continents, I would say. Not only the country, but the continents. So we have to what we have to do is to focus on the critical, I would say, technologies. So I consider that there are 4 main important pillars. So first of all, health and bioengineering, because Europe has to develop value chain for medicine, and this is very crucial topic considering EU budget and our funds, and also national programs. So both focus on that. Second, to get the resilience is of course deep tech, but considering our cybersecurity, because as you mentioned, Beata, this is very important. What else? Of course, clean transition, and nowadays, very important, the most important one is the defense. So we have launched as NCBR the defense program last year. It was Perun, and nowadays we consider under European funds also to create some new mechanism for dual use and to finance this technology. And we are in line, I would say, with EU strategy, and we have started last year to finance STEP program. What is it, STEP? STEP, these are Strategic Technologies for Europe platform. And under this initiative, there are these 4 pillars. So, we had launched calls first time in Poland, calls for this initiative, and we repeated this year. And we hope that we will also we would be intermediate body for dual use and defense program under this initiative. So that's my answer.
Thank you very much. Very interesting answer and very optimistic. Professor, because Professor is an expert on artificial intelligence, so I'm going that way. Professor, what are the roles of universities, research institutions in this process? Is it real revolution? What people of academia, people of science can do with that? Can we have any control on that?
That's quite a broad question, but look, first of all, what we hear in Davos this week is a lot of focus on what is called the AI for science. So the recognition, and we're not talking about ChatGPT, right? We're talking about sort of more serious applications here, not the sort of the general purpose chatbots, but the applications of artificial intelligence technologies to massively speed up the research process. I was about to say scientific method, but I didn't say that because we still need humans in that part of the research process. Massively speed it up because part of the national resilience is the ability to quickly respond to challenges. And if we're seeing that technologies like AI can speed up research, scientific discovery, think about the next, not a next, the next global pandemic. The sooner a country can develop a response, the less reliant it is on the goodwill of other parties and having to develop all sorts of soft power methods. So we're talking basically about AI as a way for increasing the sovereignty of a country. So I think that's an absolutely wonderful idea. I did want to just go back very briefly to the comment about the priorities of Poland. I think that's absolutely wonderful. There's a saying that birds of a feather flock together, meaning there's intellectual gravity. The more people you have working on a particular topic, the more that space will attract experts, right? That's what academics are, really. They just, not all of them, right? But academics want to work with other academics, and and improve the world and change the world. So I just wanted to commend that initiative of having those focus points. What was the other part about the AI question?
The role of the university institutions to have control on that, or I don't know if
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm very passionate about one particular perspective on AI. When we look at what's happening in the US and the development of artificial intelligence in the US, I would call it a brute force approach. And what I mean by that is a lot of institutions, whether it's mostly private institutions like OpenAI type of organizations, they're pretty much throwing more computing power at artificial intelligence problems. So what we're seeing is those conversations: how do we get more GPUs? How do we get more data centers? We need more power. I just came back from a session talking about the shift from nuclear fusion to nuclear fission, and and building those fission reactors now, because power is the new space for countries to ensure their sovereignty. But there's also this other perspective, and I'm going to use China again as an example. Whenever there's scarcity of access to resources like GPUs or so, this is a wonderful opportunity for the smarts of the minds to come up with better ways of doing something. That's exactly what China did a bit more than a year ago with their DeepSeek AI algorithm, which was trained at a 10th. That sort of the estimates vary, but let's stick to the 10% of the cost of what a similarly capable model would be trained in the US. Why is that possible? Because they were working smarter, not harder. They figured out ways of improving algorithms for training of those models, of doing things in a cheaper way. Now, what does it have to do with Poland? Well, Poland has a wonderful history and a huge amount of people who are well trained in what I would call deep maths, right? Advanced mathematics. So that's a massive potential for the country to actually have an upper hand in the development of artificial intelligence. If Poland decides to say, hey, what's happening in the US is just one way of doing AI, we're going to invest into finding the next way of doing it. Let's remember, all of the generative AI systems that we have at the moment are pretty much relying on one architecture called the transformers, which was developed, the newest version of that in 2017 by 5 or 6 people at Google. One of them was as a graduate of a university in Wrocław, so a Polish person. Here you go, an example. Doesn't mean that this particular architecture is going to be the dominant one in the coming years. So I'd love to see the next AI architecture, the next AI approach is actually coming from Poland. That could be a massive advantage here.
Thank you very much, Professor. Now we're going to Professor Kowalski. Maybe I would just rephrase a little bit this question, because if we live in the world where the development is based on science, and universities are the place where the science is developed, what universities demand from the government, from politicians? Because the question other way, if the science in this matter is a cost or is an investment or asset, what do Polish universities need? What do they demand?
Yeah, so as a representative of academia, I should say we need funds.
Give us more money.
We need resources, but I will not say that, because to be honest, and from economic perspective, what we need to treat science as investment. And how usually we treat investments, we calculate return on investments. So we should treat science as long-term investment, but also not being naive and put as much money as possible just in the science system and they will do their work. No, because what matters here is, and again, productivity, I use that when thinking about competitiveness, and here when we think about innovation system, we call that innovation efficiency, or innovation efficiency ratio. Here we may spend billions of euros, zlotys, dollars on research and development. We may invest billions of money in R&D, but if we do not have good system, and if we may waste this money. If we do not have commercialization of research results, we may simply, if we do not spend this money efficiently at universities, at technological universities, we may finish with thousands of patents, and I was investigating that, for example, in technological universities, which have no commercial value at all, not at all. We may finish with thousands of papers, reports, publications, without any impact on economy. Last month I've been in Silicon Valley, which is not like the best knowledge base in the world, one of the best, but still, not the best in scientific records, but the best, I would say, innovation ecosystem or entrepreneurial ecosystem. So turning research results into practical achievements, into business, so commercialization of these research results. This is what we may learn from that, and this is the way. Yeah? So companies, we know, Google, Hewlett-Packard, Intel, and so on, they were in fact spin-offs from Stanford, yeah? And this is how universities, in fact, contribute to economy. I remember, we've been doing some project with South Korea on innovation systems, on startups, on AI as well. And once I've heard from South Koreans, we are, and for example, there is European Innovation Scoreboard. South Korea is the most innovative country according to that ranking. But they say, but what we lack is Nobel Prize winner. We still do not have Nobel Prize winners in sciences, like medicine. Why? Again, they are excellent in commercialization. So even we don't need to have the let's say, the best science base in the world to have very innovative economy, but we need to commercialize. We need to be efficient in using these resources, this human capital, and these research results that we conduct. In fact, we in Poland, we have Nobel Prize winners in sciences, Marie Curie, but look, she did that using infrastructure, research infrastructure in France, yeah, not Polish. And just going to research infrastructure, because we're also doing the, in Horizon, so this EU framework program, one of the research projects, and that was on efficiency of innovation policy. And we were in fact analyzing research infrastructures and investments on research infrastructures from EU budget, so framework programs. And what we found was, and this also is an answer for Polish scientific problem, we found that, the portion of Poland, but in fact the whole Central Europe in the EU spending on research infrastructures in Europe was very marginal. So only the UK had higher share of this budget on research infrastructures than the whole Central Europe, the same Germany, France, Italy. So this is also about building this some kind of capacity to absorb, for example, EU funds to build scientific base. However, and here that will be the last comment, which is optimistic. We, as Warsaw School of Economics, we are participating in some projects from co-finance from EU funds on research infrastructures. This is in social sciences. So still, you mentioned that social sciences are killed, but it's not true. Well, it's not fully true. I mean, I know what you meant, but we are a good example that here we have some projects. For example, projects on research on aging, retirement, and health in Europe. and here it's quite efficient, and yeah, and we got this European money for that, and we have some other projects as well. And in Horizon as well we participate. So international funds, European funds are maybe sometimes more difficult, but it's possible also to get that for Polish science. Thank you.
Thank you. I completely agree, and we're working on that in NAVA to support Polish institutions to get that money. And director, the final statement. We visited Vietnam 3 months ago, and we really realized that 50% of Vietnamese authorities speak Polish language. We have perfect relations, and this is investment from 30, 40 years ago, because those students who studied in Poland in the 80s, 90s, now they are achieved really high ranks on the careers, and they speak Polish, they love Poland, they have these strong connections. So why I'm talking about that? Do we have, in our science diplomacy, such tools, such ideas to use this potential, because in 20 years it will be over, yes, in Vietnam. But does ministry use such tools, or because you have such a tool like NAVA, because we are doing that? So could you bring us some wider concept of such science, academic policy, foreign policy?
Sure. I would be kicked out of my job if I don't add a few amendments to what I have heard here. Maria Skłodowska-Curie was using the French infrastructure, French research infrastructure, so successfully that she was awarded with 2 Nobel Prizes during the times where Poland did not exist.
In 2 disciplines.
So I don't take it as a blame, okay? That there was nothing to do with the good or bad system in Poland. That's the first thing. The second thing is that indeed half of Vietnam speaks Polish, but this actually we owe to the politics of the Soviet bloc. It is much longer than just 30 years. These are just imagine that during the Soviet times, the countries were matched as close friends by the decision of Moscow. And this is how we got Vietnam, and the Vietnam got us for the exchange of students. Exactly. So now all of the business people, all of the researchers, indeed speak super Polish, and this is so easy to have a business trip in Vietnam and to build on this. So going back to your question, of course it is the job of the administration to build on the advantages that we have so far, right? So we do have fantastic researchers in Poland. We do have people who are well educated, who speak the languages, who are open, who are willing to cooperate, and this is exactly the asset of the Polish power abroad. So what we are doing in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are really trying to accelerate the exchange of students, the exchange of academics, researchers, and here the only thing that needs to be done seriously. And now I'm going to give you a confession, because in this respect, I was told. I mean, the theory that I still believe in. These are the theories from my very best team years ago in the Ministry of the Economics that Professor Kowalski was the part of. So I was well educated by my colleagues from the Innovation Policy Unit in our department. Commercialization. This is the keyword. This is exactly the struggle we are having, we are sharing for so many years. It's fantastic to be a good researcher, but it's even more fantastic to have a good business partner and to have a patent that is worth trillions of US dollars, Polish zlotys, whichever currency, it doesn't really matter. But this really builds the power of the country, the power of the economics, and yeah, let's invent things that we can sell, okay? This is something that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is going to support forever.
Thank you very much, Madam. One Aristotle, the philosopher, was asked, "It's better to be rich or wise?" And he replied, "I don't know, but usually or always wise people are knocking to the doors of rich people." So responding to your, thank you very much because the time is out. Thank you very much for this panel. Thank you for accepting our invitation. It was a pleasure and honor to be here and hosting you in this discussion. Now let's carry on that in less formal way. Thank you very much to those who sacrificed their lunchtime to spend the session with us. Thank you very much, and all the best to you. Thank you.